Well, good morning and welcome to the Hiking for Health weekly update. This one for the week of April 9th, 2017. Well, I'll get the stuff I'm not looking forward to this time out of the way. I'm a little disappointed, but because like I even said it in the last, probably what jinxed me. I said it in the last video, is I like to come when I'm doing these things here in front of the camera. I like to come here and have good news. Unfortunately, this week I do not have good news. At least not good news for me. It's not really going to affect you. I don't think anybody out there is emotionally invested in this, in my weight loss, and I hope not. I should be the one emotionally invested, and I am. But unfortunately, this week the weigh-in I am at 266.8. And as you recall, last week we were at 285.4. So that's going the wrong direction. I have gained 1.4 pounds in that week. So that sucks. Not going to hide that. But as I said before, we had 1 week a while ago before, a few weeks ago, where it was a gain instead of a loss. And we even had 1 week that was a plateau. It was neither a loss or a gain. And disappointed, yeah. I have to admit this one is disappointing because I got out as much as I could because you know the car situation. I'm not always having things. I try to do some exercises around the house and things like that. But I did get out last week and did 5 miles on the Atherton, what I call my training trail, the Atherton Trail to Paradise Point and back. I did 5 miles. I did other stuff on the days I couldn't get out to the trail, walking around. I stayed inside the calories that the app I'm using is telling me to stay inside, and yet I gained 1.4 pounds. So something went haywire there, and I got to figure out what it is, and I will. So no rage quit, not gonna stop. I am motivated. I want to reach that 20 pounds lost mark so that I can move on and do it again and again and again until I've lost the 100 that I want to lose. But it is disappointing, especially at this time, because it's like I'm not sure what happened here. I actually am getting out, so I'm going to have to figure it out. One thing I did want to add about that, by the way, the app says you get this many pounds, or I'm sorry, this many calories a day, and I stay within that. Now, when I do something like a 5-mile hike, it takes the calories that it estimates you burn in that walk and adds it to what you can have for that day. Now, I usually don't touch those. I don't go in there. That's because I'm trying to lose weight, not stay even. And as far as I know, that's the calories for losing. So I stay within the calories it gives me. So if it adds 1,500 calories for walking 5 miles at the pace I walk, I don't use an extra 1,500 calories for that day. I let those calories go. I burned them on purpose. I want them to be gone because with them, hopefully, is some weight. So that's not the issue. I didn't go out and walk 5 miles and then come back and just pork out. That's not what I did. So anyway, I'll be back on track and hopefully with good news. It's kind of frustrating because that means next week, if I do lose the 2-pound goal I have, I'll be right back at almost 20 pounds, not quite 20 pounds lost. So it is kind of a bummer when it sets you back because it's territory you've already lost that you have to lose again because it come back. But like I said before, that is how it goes, and you just can't rage quit and just I'm done. Weeks like this are going to happen, and it sucks. My big thing is I have to figure out why. So it doesn't happen a couple of weeks in a row, and the next thing I know, I'm sliding back and almost on top of 300 pounds again. So I got to figure out what's going on there, and once I do, I'll just keep trying to lose weight. So yeah, there's that bad news. Gained 1.4 pounds instead of losing pounds. So I had hoped to announce with this one, this update, 20 pounds lost, but it's not going to be this week. Sorry. And I apologize to you because like I say, I hope nobody out there is like emotionally invested. But I am getting comments on some of the things. People telling me that they like some of the videos and congratulating me on doing job, and I appreciate that. And it makes me even more. It inspires me even more to not want to let people down. That's one of the reasons why I'm putting this out there on YouTube, looking at this camera. Because then it's just not me just sitting there, oh, you know, if I gain a couple of pounds this week, who the hell's going to know? People are going to know. That's why I wanted it out there. My family always knows when I'm dieting and stuff like that, but now I've expanded it to friends and just other folks out there who are interested in hiking and weight loss are commenting on some of my YouTube videos and talking to me on Facebook and stuff. I'm getting comments on Instagram, and you know what? That's really cool. It's a neat. The hiking community is really amazing out there. I've learned a lot. It's different from when I was hiking back in the 80s and early 90s. It's just really cool. I think because of the technology, it's very, a lot of tight knit, a lot of good folks out there and things. So for those of you who really are looking at these things and some of the ones who have made comments, I'll get back on track and I'll keep on working because it's important to me, and I know that there are other people out there watching, and I don't want to be a disappointment and just quit. So there's that. Moving on, I'm filming this on Monday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm actually really excited. I have a real hike planned in. I called the ranger in charge of the San Joaquin River National Wildlife Reserve, and they are indeed open. Like I said in the last video, they're open year-round pretty much. And she said, "Yep, there's a hiking trail there that is approximately 5 to 6 miles long, plus I think a smaller trail that goes out to a observation platform. There's a lot of wildlife to see, and this time of year we should have some wildflower blooms, and we should have an actual wetland to see with a lot of birds and stuff. So I will be doing an actual out there hike at the San Joaquin River National Wildlife Reserve, which I believe is technically attached to the Grasslands State Park, which is up in that same area. And there's another little national preserve or Bureau of Land thing that's sitting in that area. So I'm going to be hiking the main trail there on the San Joaquin River, NWR, but I'm also going to be kind of scouting that area out because there's a few other little places there. And if it's easy to access those places and use those trails too, I may end up extending my hike beyond 5 miles and just doing it, depending on how long it's going to take. Other than that, right now, that schedule kind of works because we've got a lot of things going on. Being retired doesn't necessarily, at least not in my family, doesn't necessarily mean you have all the time in the world. I do have some decent time, especially in the mornings like this, to myself. But that doesn't mean I have all kinds of time. There are things to do, especially because we hold an annual Easter egg hunt, and that is coming up this Saturday, and there's a lot of prep work to do for that. And because I'm not working, I'm the one doing a lot of the prep work because everybody else is at school and at work or at work. We did a lot of that this weekend. So anyway, so I don't want to take the whole day, as much as that would be really cool, just hiking all over the place down there. So I'm going to head down there semi-early in the morning, get there in time to do, a decent hike, and then probably be home between noon and 1, because it's only about, according to Google Maps, it's only about 40 minutes south of me, so that's not too bad. Quick little jaunt, 40 minutes, hike for 2-3 hours, come on back. That'll be the morning into the very early afternoon, and then that'll bring me back here in time to do stuff and things. But eventually I will be taking hikes that will be all day. I'll leave in the morning, arrive, and because my hikes are going to progressively, as I'm training to try and do longer hikes. These 5 milers take me a couple hours. But I'm going to be training eventually to get into the 10-15 mile mark, and those are hikes that take most of the day. You know, you're talking 5-hour hikes minimum, depending on where you are and what you're doing. So we'll be working on that. But so that's really all I got. Bad news on the weight loss front. Gained 1.4 pounds. And but good news on the hiking front. I'm heading out tomorrow, and of course I'll be bringing my trusty GoPro with me, and my camera and stuff. And so I will come back with lots of footage to put together a day hike report. That'll be something else coming up on the channel once I got that done. I know I still owe, and I have all the footage there. I still owe the road trip report on Castle Air Base. That will be coming out hopefully this week. But again, like I said, a lot of things going on this week, a lot of prep work I have to do. And then so when the evening rolls around, I'm not necessarily in the mood to just sit and put together a bunch of footage, so that makes it a little tougher, you know. But I do still owe that one. So more stuff coming besides the updates here, and I just hope you guys keep having a good week and enjoying. Hey, and if you're interested and you don't know about it, there's the Pacific Crest Trail season has kicked off. There are folks on the trail. Some of them are doing blogs. Some of them are on Instagram. Some are doing both. Really cool stuff. A lot of fun stuff to read and pictures to see. And it's both got me excited, and I even put on there at the same time. I feel a little inadequate. I'm out there on my little 5-mile Atherton trail that is just a flat trail. There's no altitude inclines, no worrying about switchbacks, no worrying about where your water's going to come from, because you're not out there in the wilderness. And at the same time, I come home and I read blogs about folks that are, on mile 120 already, and they've already hit, altitude such and such. And it's like, oh man, I feel kind of weak because I'm doing these little valley hikes. But right now, that's where I'm at. I'll get there. I really will. So thanks a lot, everybody, for your support, especially you folks that I've been talking to a little bit online and been leaving comments for me. Some of you are friends, and some of you are people I've never met, and yet you're still leaving comments, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Sorry about this week. I'll figure out what's going on and get back on track for next week, and we'll have some good news next week, and we will see you then.